ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven, and today I have a build that is going to literally blow your mind. Okay, so first off, a lot of people consider themselves theory crafter. I put it in the subject. I do not consider myself a theory crafter, guys. I don't have time to settle for theories. What I'm doing is I'm sitting down, I'm calculating the math, I'm trying to do the best thing for each build that I'm trying to come up with. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'll scrap the entire thing, start from scratch, because I'm not going to put anything into play that is not viable. Okay, so that's what this channel is about. It's about viability. At the end of the day, I don't care about a parse meter. I don't give a shit about any of that. I want to push out decent results for each build. That's what it is. Plain and simple. All right, so with this build here, it's gross. This is probably one of the sickest builds that I actually came up with, and it's badass. And I had to check the internet once again to make sure nobody has this, and of course they don't. So boom, we're gonna bring it out, and I'm gonna give it straight to you guys. All right. So first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna throw up my food buff. All right, we're gonna get into the character sheet here. Okay, my current max Magicka is sitting at 41,317 on dual side. Max health's at 19,599. My spell crit is at 51.1, and spell damage without any buffs or builders is at 2,316. To the left, you'll go ahead and see the Magicka is at 58, health is at 6, and the boon we are running is the Apprentice. All right? That's on that side. Let me go ahead. I'm going to switch to staff side. On the staff side, we see the drop in the Magicka down to 40,023. Maximum health, once again, is 19,595. Spell crit has dropped down to 48.1. And also, you'll see the regen at 796. Now, this is a pretty low-end regen. But with this build, you don't need as much regen. And I'll explain why once I get into this. So let me go ahead, and if anybody's wanted to know, this is called the Ashphyxiation build, and it's intentionally spelled wrong so I could get Ashphyxiation. So because I'm running a lot of Dragonknight abilities, which are fire-based, okay? And once you apply it, it's just, slowly killing them. That's what asphyxiation does. It slowly deprives the body of oxygen. So let me go ahead and get into the inventory here. All right. So we are running a double stack, right, of Overwhelming Surge along with Scathing Mage. Now, disclosure, once again, ESO hates me. It doesn't seem I can ever catch a break on weapon drops. However, I did get this in the ideal piece. This is the Thunder Staff of Overwhelming Surge in Sharpen. That's what I wanted. You can actually go precise, and that would increase your crit percentage. Excuse me. But you're going to go ahead and lose on penetration. So it's a debate. So if you want to go with precise instead of the sharpen, you can do that. Just remember, you'll lose a little on the pen. So that's, once again, an option. So also I have subjugation fist. Sorry. That's precise. Now, ideally, I want the sword precise. Right? So ideally, I need the Scathing Mage sword in precise. Not sharpened, but I need it precise to keep my crit percentage up on the dual side. This Overwhelming is it's sharpened, but it's supposed to be the sword. I don't want the dagger. I want the sword, but it's sharpened. So as of now, it will work. Okay, so we have the Labyrinth's Mask medium. Once again, I'm going to keep the medium and the heavy shoulders so I can maintain my Undaunted passive. Because remember, guys, in your Undaunted passive, you want to keep one heavy and one light so you can get the Undaunted metal so you can maintain the 6% towards all of your base stats. That's your stamina, health, and Magicka. All right. Now, also, we have the chest of Overwhelming Surge. In infused, max Magicka. The head's infused as well, max Magicka. The shoulders are max health divine. The waist is Scathing Mage. Now, first thing you're all going to say is, what the fuck, Mystic? Why aren't you running Burning Spellweave? Okay, I have 3 of the 4 builds I'm going to be coming out this week with the Magicka Dragonknight. So I'm going to give you a lot of options. I like the Burning Spell Weave. I'm not going to say I don't. I don't use Burning Spell Weave on anything but the DK. I will explain that in another video why. But the reason I'm going with the Scathing Mage on this specific build is simple. I'm getting the crit, right? So this is my crit set, and not only that, but if you take a look, when I deal damage, I have an increased chance of 20% to increase the spell damage by 504 for 6 seconds. It can occur every 6 seconds. That's without a lapse, right? And yes, I know Burning Spell Weave has 1 crit, but I want to keep crit percentage up there high. So this is a big deal here, guys. I have no lapse timer. Burning Spell Weave, you do, all right? And you are getting the bump to spell damage, but I want to go ahead and I don't want to lapse any of my spell damage. So that's why, because we're applying the dots can tick the Scathing Mage. Also, Gloves of Scathing Mage Divine. And everybody's going to be like, how many Scathing Mage sets do you have? 3, because I have 3 Magicka users using it currently. Breachers of Scathing Mage, Infused Max Magicka, Glyphed Magicka, and Overwhelming Shoes, Divines, Max Health. And as you guys can see, I'm still in the upgrade process. So here's the deal. Overwhelming Surge Jewelry, 1 piece of the necklace, 174 spell damage. Overwhelming Ring, 174 spell damage. And Scathing Mage Ring, spell damage. And you can, if you want more regen, you can slot, keep one of these with the regen, right? So that's an option. So, and then of course, if you guys were wondering about the glyphs, we went with the increased weapon damage to in spell damage for the glyph for the staff. We went with the crusher on the mace, which is supposed to be the sword, and went with the restore on the other sword. All right, guys, and people are going to wonder, why don't you use the crusher on the staff? The major reason is because when we take a look inside the light armor passives for Magicka users, we're getting concentration once again. You're getting a increased spell pen by 4,884, and on top of it, for destruction staff, you're getting the passive penetrating magic, which increases your penetration by another 10% on top of that. So I want to increase the spell damage, not penetration, because I need the spell damage. All right, so there's that. Okay, now let's see what else I'm got to do. And that's all champion points. So let's get into champion points. I almost forget this all the time. We will start in with the Apprentice. Okay, Elfborn is at 12%, Elemental Experts at 23%, and Spell Erosions at 1,654. When we go over, we have nothing into the Astronaut, but since this is a Magicka Dragonknight, they have a lot of dots, so we want to increase the capability of the dot performance. So Thaumaturge becomes a secondary concern for us, because we don't want to go ahead and pull too much from the base damage. That would affect our dots as well. But when we get Thaumaturge up to about 15%, and keep in mind, since they can't crit, that's another reason we're going to put Elfborn up to 12%. Now with this build, you don't see a lot of the upfront damage because it's a dot build, but that's what makes this nice, because even through mechanics, when you're avoiding mechanics, the dots are applied and it's consistently dealing DPS. So that's one thing I really like. When we go over here, Ironclad, once again 6.5 excuse me. We all know that I just like to break free when needed. That's PvP stuff. Don't worry about that. Hardy is at 16%. I am a vampire, so Elemental Defender is at 22.5. Keep in mind, I am a Dunmer, so I don't need to go 100% to negate the negative effects. But if you were a vampire and you were going to go any other race, I would suggest go allocating 100 points. Thick Skin's at 3%. And of course, Quick Recovery, because I'm a vampire. I want to recap any heals I'm getting to increase at 6.8. Magician's at 13.5 for reduced cost. Tenacity is at 6.6 because we will be weaving. This will help us maintain a lot more Magicka. Arcanist is at 23%, increasing our recovery, and Healthy is at 6% because I am a vampire and there's nothing into the shadow. So that's how we've allocated the points. And also I want to go ahead and let you guys know, I picked the Dark Elf for my Dragonknight. That was intentional. The reason being, a couple of reasons. I kind of knew I was going to end up going vampire, so I have that flame resistance and resist flame. Also, I'm going to get 7% towards increased flame damage. The Dragonknight, Magicka Dragonknight deals a ton and a shit, like almost every ability they have is flame based. So I want the Dark Elf for this build. There's no question about it. And of course, dynamics definitely helps because we're going to increase to Magicka and stamina by 6%. Though this does work out for the Magicka Night Blades as well. So even though they don't deal flame damage. So, all right, guys, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I don't know if I have. Actually, I'm going to go over the combos and I'll let you guys know why I picked Overwhelming Surge. Actually, I'll explain it real quick. Let's do that first. Okay, Lambert's Mask, right? When you deal flame or shock damage, you have a 10% chance to summon a meteor shower that damage type that deals 1,934 to all enemies within 4 meters every second for 5 seconds. This can occur every 8 seconds. That's for each one. So for the flame and the lightning, it has a cooldown of 8 seconds. So they can fire together or they can fire separate. The thing about it is, the Dragonknight has no shock abilities, right? So you're thinking to yourself, well, that's why you're using the lightning staff. No, it is, but it isn't. This is why I'm using the Overwhelming Surge. What the Overwhelming Surge does for me, anytime I activate a class ability, I have a 15% chance to surround myself with a torrent that deals 2,501 shock damage to the closest enemy. Now, speaking of skills, I didn't get into that, but let me go ahead and break this down for you and how this works. So our builder is going to go ahead and be Structured Entropy. This is no-brainer because when we do this, we're going to activate Might of the Mage, which is going to give us Empower as well as Major Sorcery. So that's increasing the damage. Now we're also going to have the Molten Whips. Why the Molten Whips? It's not a dot, but what this does is it increases the rest of our Ardent Flame ability spell damage by 101. So it also becomes our spammable, and it increases the rest of our damage, like Burning Embers, which is a dot. So we want to go ahead and do that, and it's a self-heal. Take a look at this, and now we're going to be using Engulfing Flames, which is another Ardent Flame ability, which is going to apply a dot and an AoE effect. Of course, we're going to have Inner Light on both bars, which is going to go ahead and give us Major Prophecy, increasing our spell critical rating by 2,191. Of course, since I am a Dunmer and I'm using a lot of dots, what you're going to see here, I'm going to use the Shooting Star. Now, it's not going to deal as much damage as, you know, like my Nightblade up front. But the secondary effect, which is the damage over time, I'm going to get a lot more because I'm putting points in the Thaumaturge. Okay? Also, we go at Draw Essence, right? This one is a big one for me because it's a self-heal, but it's kind of like a little bit of an explosion. It doesn't have a dot effect, but it really does come in handy in this build. Plus, it's another class-based ability that helps proc Overwhelming Surge. Of course, I'm going to use another lightning-based ability to increase the proc chance effect, and I'm going to explain this, which is the Unstable Wall of Storms. Burning Talons, of course, no-brainer. It's going to, and sorry about that. If you hear that, that's my granddaughter in the background, which her mom's taking care of her. So Burning Talons, right, guys? Weird phone call. Wow, that's all of a sudden. Burning Talons. Okay, so it's going to deal 5,751 flame damage, immobilizes the enemies, and it offers a synergy to my party. And, of course, Eruption. It's, you know, it's an AoE effect. It's going to go ahead and deal 4,936 flame damage and a dot effect of 1,245 every second. And of course, the ultimate we're running is Thunderstorms. I'm planning on getting this morphed, not to Eye of Storms, but the other one. Okay, so here's the deal. Right, guys, and I want you guys to take a lot of notes on this because this applies in every flipping scenario. Because I was explaining this to somebody. I'm like, okay, for example, I have Valkynscorian for my Magicka DK, and I'm like, but I would never use it on my sorcerer. And they're like, well, why wouldn't you use Valkynscorian on your sorcerer? I'm like, because the percentage of proc decreases based on the proc's effect. So here it is. Lambert's has a 10% chance to summon a meteor shower of that type, right? It's 10%. So if for every ability I use, I'm only getting a 10%. Now, if it's a tick, it increases my odds of proccing. Well, here's the deal. If I don't have any shock-based abilities and I'm only using one, what's my percentage to proc? 10% for each tick, right? So if I have four ticks, that's giving me a 40% chance to tick, but you know, I'm still based off 10. Now, if I'm using class-based abilities from Overwhelming Surge, right? I have 15% chance. All right, so when I go into my skills, I can calculate the 15% chance per tick for each class-based ability. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm running 6 class-based abilities with a 15% chance to proc off each ability. So that increases my chance to proc the effect. So this is what I'm always saying. I'm like, I would never use Overwhelming Surge, or not Overwhelming, Burning Spell Weave on my Sorcerer. Because why? Because I'm going to get a better proc effect from my DK versus my Sorcerer. It's just the way it is, guys. It's the math. It can't be denied. You can't deny that type of math. It's the facts. So once again, I don't want a lot of downtime. I want fast and heavy procs. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, you can't proc Lamberts off Overwhelming Surge. I beg to differ, and I'm about to show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and queue it. I don't know what the dailies are, but I'll just pick up a random. Okay. And we'll queue both. I don't care. And while we're waiting, I'll go test this. Oh, nice. Now, if it goes in voice chat, I will go ahead and disband it and whatever. I mean, get out of the voice chat. But, you know, here's the thing. A lot of people, I posted a music video yesterday intentionally to, a lot of people have been hating my Indomitable Stamplar build. And it's funny because I'm like, I don't care if they hate it. You know, if anything, you know, I don't like bullies. And I'm the type of person, I grew up, you know, confronting the bullies intentionally. And bullies didn't come and try to bully me. But the people they were bullying, those are the people I was, you know, I put a stop to it. That's who I am in life, in real life. I do not appreciate people who push people around. So, you know, I kind of intervene when necessary. And the biggest thing about this is I'm the type of person to stand up to people. And I provoke it. It's just like, okay, you guys want to hate it? Here it is. I'm even going to provoke you further. Why? Because you're going to call my build out. Well, I'm going to show it in action, and I'm going to put a nasty song just to go ahead and antagonize you guys more. And a lot of people are like, well, that's what makes you an asshole, Mystic. Well, I hate to burst your guys' bubbles, but there's a lot of people on this game and on this tube that are not nice. Okay? Okay, I do not need to be in there. I don't know if this is regular or whatever. Got some maxes. It's all good, though. Alright. Now, when you see the Overwhelming Surge, you're going to see a little lightning right at the bottom. Oh, snap. We lost our tank. Something sold. Oh, that's great. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, frig it.
On your feet, you louts. We're going back in.
Well, as long as I have the healer behind me, oh well. Now, I want to go ahead and apply these as much as possible. And as you can see, there's the double procs. Now keep in mind, with this build, you're not going to go ahead and see a lot of that upfront damage like you would with the Nightblade or the Sorcerer. So the dots become the secondary focus. You know, not the primary. You're still going to be dealing a lot of base damage, but the primary number should be a concern factor. Don't try this at home, kids. Why isn't that spider moving? All right. I'll find out. Ah, it's bet. Terrible way to find out. All right, here we go.
This way, squad.
Come on, guys. Ugh. I might die here. Let me see if I can. Want to definitely try to keep it in, you know, the area. How much you can do if it doesn't. Get off me. I wonder if this is still bugged. It was up until this update. You die just walking down this hall. Oh, looks like they fixed it. Yay! Well, that's a comment, so I'm taking that as a good sign. I can't hear you, but I'll take that as a good sign. Excuse me. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's go. Now, once again, guys, I want to make sure I'm laying those dots on the Scathing Mage side, on the double stack side. That's going to go ahead and help with that proc. That's very, very important. Okay. Now see the electricity coming from my body. See, when the electricity, that's the overwhelming surge, guys. That can proc the Lambert set. I'm increasing the chance for the proc effect. The set doesn't do me any good if I'm not using any shock-based abilities. And using only one destruction staff ability is actually limiting the chance of proc to occur. So I need a secondary effect to increase the chance to proc. So this is why it's very important to make sure you guys realize that. You know, I always tell people, you know, people are using Burning Spellweave and they're using like Unstable Wall or Pulse or something, one ability to proc. I'm like, here's the deal. You have a lapse timer, and then on top of it, you're only using one effect to proc it. Yeah, I see the comment, and you know, it is what it is, but it's the math, man. I can't hear you, but I can honestly tell you, the Burning Spellweave procs more on my DK than my Sorcerer. That's a fact. I tested it. You know, it's a fact. You might not like it, but it's the truth. And this is why I will not give up my Scathing Mage on my Sorcerer. It just will not happen. It won't. All right. Going to kite everything back here. Now for every dot I'm hitting with that flame, that's keeping my Scathing Mage for each dot. So that's very important, guys. The more I'm applying effects, the more Scathing Mage maintains its effect when it drops off. Keep it right there. Oh, shit. Hopefully they can get me. Just block, just block. Oh, snap. Not when I don't. Okay, good. There we go. Good job, guys. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices. It sucks that we didn't have a tank, but I'm in here. It's no way I'm just not gonna do this and sit here, wait 20, 30 minutes. No, snap. Oh, right. There it is. Oh, sweet. I've been waiting for that one to happen. I'm used to use sword and board, so on my heal build. So I've been waiting for this one. So finally it's done. It's one finally unlocked. Okay, guys, so there it is. There's the build. You know, pretty much said and done here. And once again, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm trying to put out viable builds for players. I'm trying to give them their options and let them know, you know, there's no such thing as best in slot. It's mathematical. You have to go ahead and calculate percentages and things like that. If that's not your thing, there are a lot of YouTubers out there. Xeno is probably one of my favorite YouTubers because he breaks down the math. It's not just about putting a build together, guys, and saying, you know, doing a parse and saying, oh, you know, this is, you know, best in slot. There is no fucking such thing in this game, guys. I can tell you that for a fact. I played so many MMOs, it would just, you know, make you like, what the hell? Like, literally so many. I've alpha tested for companies. I've tested for other, you know, I'm not going to get into everything, all the crap I've done throughout all my years, but, you know, the funny thing about it is I can tell you guys for a fact this is not a linear system. So, and it's not. Every class has its pros and cons. You have to build around that. That is a very important thing. You have to understand, you know, the percentage to proc and what abilities will give you the percentage of the effect. Now, I have been wrong in this game, and I will say that officially. So I am not perfect. I am a human being just like the rest of us. So we all can make mistakes, but we have to go ahead and try to, you know, humble ourselves with that, you know, and try to be better people. I really hope you guys enjoy this build. This build is, I love this build. I love this build. We ran so many bets yesterday with this, testing every aspect of it, and by far what this build offers, like, nobody has it, nobody came up with it. And I was like, you know, I bet you I can get Lambert's to work with a DK. And somebody had said, no way, you have no shock abilities. You're going to go ahead and use the staff. You even said so yourself that, you know, one ability is going to decrease the percentage to proc versus Valken scoring, because I'm using a lot of dots with Valken scoring. That increases my proc percentage. This is true. And I'm like, well, I'm going to skip this, use the unstable, and I'm going to use the overwhelming surge to proc the effect. They're like, are you serious? Is that going to work? We tested it, we did it, and here it is for you guys. It's for you. It's for all the Magicka DKs that want to break through the meta. Tell them that it's bullshit. Tell them all it's bullshit. That's who I'm serving it to. I'm serving it to you guys, my fans, my subscribers. You're appreciated here. Tell the rest of the people who say there's a best in slot to fuck off and prove them wrong. This is Mystic Raven. If you have any questions or comments, post below. I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I did creating it. Thank you once again and always, and have a nice day.